Now, if you're in the market for a new sports car, or should we say performance, superior, fantastic car, there's a lot of options out there. There's no doubt we're a bit inundated with what we've got going on there at the moment. But we all know when we come back to Lamborghini, it was something that was founded on rebellion and past punk rock style era. Didn't like what Ferrari was doing? Stuff it. We'll go make our own car. Lamborghini's been doing it forever now. And with Lamborghini's new Huracan EVO Fluo Capsule, yes, that's right, this time Fluo Capsule, I don't know if that's the right word for marketing. This one is really out there to be that rebellion, really be out there and show you what's going on, stick out in the crowd. I think we can see that now with how bright this car is. I'm Cody Mackay, I'm from Exhaust Notes, and today we're going to go through all the features, the mod cons, and just how fantastic this car is. Now, in a sense, you might be asking, what's the real difference between a Huracan and a Fluo Capsule? And I do apologise if I'm not sounding that right. I believe that is the right pronunciation when I checked. Well, coming down to what it is a Huracan is a Huracan. It's got everything, the mod cons, the engines, everything underneath, the LDVS system and everything like that to make it a Huracan. This is more of a one-off special model that comes out from them. The main real difference is the colours and the matte black accents. Now, it comes in a range of colours as well, and I've got my trusty paperwork here that I'm reading out with, because one, I don't know Italian, two, I don't know Latin. I struggle with English sometimes as well. So the colours that they give us, a Verde Shock, which is a beautiful green we've got here, and I think it looks quite good. You know, some people confuse it with blue, green kind of running together. I think this really just knocks it on the head there. You got the Giallo Clarus, yellow. You've also got the Arancio Livrea and the Arancio Dac and the Celeste Fedra. Now, there's a range of orange, yellows, blues and greens. And once again, I do apologise, I'm not Italian, I'm a bogan Australian. I'm trying my best here as well. So in a sense, all those colours come out in a beautiful matte, and yeah, we can't knock back the fact that the rest of the car as well has matte black features coming off them as well. First thing you can notice down at the front splitters, beautiful matte black goes around the front end. And the reason I really do like this matte black is it really accentuates something that the Huracan doesn't. There's some beautiful body lines, some work there. And when you compare it directly to the Huracan side by side, a lot of that's lost. It's not actuated. And you think a black would be, you know, a one way of covering it up. This really knocks it on the head there. It's showing the sportiness of the car that you really miss out on in other models. That is continued up if you look up the side skirts here as well. Same matte black finish on the bottom here as well. And even the wheels come in a matte black finish as well. Mirrors follow that as well. Really just enough to point the difference out to show you that, hey, look, don't forget about me. These parts of the car still exist. And that wraps into the roof as well. Something that you can't overlook because the car is that low. To give you an idea, I'm 180 centimetres. It's up to my belly button. So that's how low it is. It's something that you can't miss. Coming onto the back of the car, we've got the usual looks that come through it. Same thing with the matte black wheels, quite large 20-inch wheels there. Straight into the display centre, I like to put there of the V10 engine that it comes with. Now, you own one of these cars, you want to show off the engine. It's the most beautiful thing about this car. It's the most beautiful sounding thing. Jesus Christ, you're going to raise hell putting your foot down and going for it. Alright, but that's probably enough about how beautiful this thing looks on the outside. Come through, I want to show you jumping in the car as well. I know the sleek looks that you see on the side here, the first thing you go is, well, how the hell do I get in the thing? Well, you know, it's not a lot of handle to grab onto. But you grab your Lamborghini key, press the unlock button, look at that. I think that's a pretty cool feature. That's probably one of the most impressive door handles I've seen for a long time. And all it is simply pull that up. Open it up and you jump in. Now, one thing you're probably going to ask is how hard is the car to get in? I'm used to jumping in a lot of pretty funny looking cars, but I might as well show you because, you know, one of the biggest complaints is how hard it is to get in a lot of these cars. But it's generally quite simple. Leg in and swing around. It's got a quite deep dish here that you jump into, so you feel like you're really securing yourself into the car. And jumping inside this Fluo capsule, you would immediately think of how cramped and tight like a race car is. Surprisingly, once you jump into it, it's quite spacious, and I know the person behind the camera here commented on how much legroom they've actually got in the passenger seat there, probably because there's no back seat. Well, moving around it, it is simplified. You're not going to have the buttons you would on a lot of Mercedes and Audis and all that type of stuff as well. This car is made for the driving experience. They want to take away the distraction as much as possible. And when you do drive this car, you'll forget about all the mod cons and features that do come with it. But staring around it as well, the first thing we notice are the seats that it comes with. Beautiful coloured embroidery with Alcantara all over it as well. These model seats are the actual sports seats, so you do have 3 different types of seats you can get. The full carbon fibre racing seat, which they can only move forward and back, that's just made for race car driving. These sports seats, where you do get a bit more mod con, so you'll get the tilting of them, you can move them back and forth, and they still got carbon fibre on them. And then you'll get your luxury seats that come with them, full leather seats, something that's a bit more luxurious. Full carbon moulding throughout. Not a huge display center that comes in the middle of it, but the same thing as well. This isn't a Tesla, this is something here to race and to drive and to have fun with. You want minimal distractions from it. Nice coloring on the start stop switch as well, which simply just flips up. And then your gear controls here, your reverse, park and manual mode. There, handbrake, electric. And then that's it. You've got somewhere to put your phone. Unfortunately, this isn't a charging bay. You still do have your USB ports on the back here that you can charge your phone, but it is probably something that is missing out on this model. Jumping up onto the steering wheel. Steering wheel is basic. There is no switches around the car, on the back around here as well. It's just your buttons. So you've got your indicators here. You've got your wipers on the right hand side here. Just your usual features for your cruise control. And then you got your sports, your strata, your sport and your Corsa mode, which really liven up that car front and center, ready to flick on as well. Now, driving this car, you'd think it would be quite difficult, especially around the city driving. Now, we've been driving this all over the Sydney city, and surprisingly, one thing that's blown us away, leaving it in strata mode with automatic shifting, it is just so easy to drive. You're not having to wrestle with a gearbox, you're not having to wrestle with a lock diff, you're not having to struggle to move this car around usual city driving. U-turns, roundabouts, parking in tight spots, these are all so easy. And that is one thing that really surprises me about this car, is you will start feeling more comfortable driving it for just your errands. Say, I know a lot of people like to collect these cars, they like to store them. This is something that you're going to want to take out because it's a joy to drive. But don't get me wrong, don't think that this car is just dumbed down for the general public so people can buy a Lamborghini just for the badge of it. This car, putting it in sports mode and Corsa mode, will rip your face off. It is so quick, it handles so well. It should be illegal that it's on the road. It should be a dedicated track car on that serious. Now, I've driven a lot of things over my years and this thing has just surprised me. We've taken it up to the mountains, we've taken it around the twisty roads, and it's like a slot car. It doesn't want to come off, it doesn't want to deteriorate or move away from any way other than where you're pointing the car. The steering feels nice and light, and that's down to the electronic power steering that it's got. You can just point the nose wherever it needs to be. And also the LDVI system, that directs the torque where it needs to go on the wheels. It can throw it to the front, it can throw it to the back. So it can really change it wherever it's needed from the input of you, the driver. Calculates what's going on, puts it into the car, and then makes it just an absolute joy to steer around. So it is an amazing car on that sense. Now, if you're looking more towards the luxury side, the strata mode, just traveling around everywhere, just being comfortable, you're going to lose out a bit on the infotainment system. It's not the best in the world. We haven't been able to connect our Apple Play to it. It is a bit clunky, it is a little bit difficult to use, but then again, this is a Lamborghini. They want you to focus on the driving, they want you to feel that rush that way. They don't want you playing with the system in the middle. So yeah, all in all, if you're looking at something that can be comfortable to drive around the streets, wow everyone as well, you know, don't get me wrong, it's the colours on the outside that make everyone just stare at this car. We've snapped a few necks with everyone looking at us. But then yeah, you don't have to feel like you're a sports car driver all the time. You don't have to feel like you have to put a helmet on. But if you do want that racing experience, all you have to do, take it to the track, put it in the Corsa mode. Mate, this thing is unbelievable. I suggest you go check one out in the flesh. I think there we have it. I think I've put everything I possibly can into this little film about this amazing car. There's definitely so much more to cover. It's definitely worth jumping on the Lamborghini website and checking out what's going on. I'm Cody. This is Exhaust Notes. Tell us what you think, and I'll see you later.